Welcome to Solvay Chemicals, Parachute, Colorado. The 960 acres at the Parachute site is a mix of manufacturing for sodium bicarbonate, commonly known as baking soda, and leased oil and gas and agricultural activities. It uses soda ash from the Green River, Wyoming site to produce bicar sodium bicarbonate, animal feed, technical grade, and food grades USP 1, 2, and 5. These various grades are used in the following industries: healthcare products, industrial chemicals, blast media, animal feed supplements, and food products. Our commitment to food safety is shown through our FSSC 22000 certification, the first North American sodium bicarbonate production facility to reach this milestone. Health, safety, and environmental policies. At Solvay Chemicals, protecting the health and safety of our employees, contractors, visitors, neighboring communities, and the environment is our top priority. To achieve this, the following practices will be observed. Senior management will demonstrate leadership through documented policy, the commitment of necessary resources, periodic reviews, and an open dialogue on health, safety, and environmental issues with key stakeholders. Each facility will establish and maintain health, safety, and environmental programs designed to continually improve HSE. Each facility will establish and maintain emergency response and community awareness programs designed to protect and inform employees, contractors, visitors, and neighboring communities. Each employee is also responsible for protecting the environment at their workplace. Employees aware of a potentially unsafe condition or threat to the environment must correct or report it. If necessary, they are empowered to discontinue affected operations until the problem is corrected. Before you begin your work at the plant, you must sign in at the control room. All work that is done at the plant requires a general work permit to be issued. Upon completion of your work, return the general work permit and sign out from the control room. ISO 9001 and FSSC 22000 certified. Due to the production of food-grade material, the following standards must be met. No food or drinks are allowed except in designated break lunch areas and outside of Solvay buildings. No tobacco products are allowed in Solvay buildings. Clothing should provide suitable coverage, long pants and short-sleeve shirts at a minimum, and be clean. No items will be carried in pockets above the waist, including pins. Jewelry is confined to a plain wedding band. No watches, facial jewelry, or earrings. Emergencies. Contact the control room on radio channel 1 or 2 or by phone 970-285-0480. In the event of a true emergency and you cannot reach anyone at 970-285-0480, call 911. Provide the following information: your name, location of the emergency, description of the emergency, number of people injured, what emergency services are needed, fire department, sheriff, ambulance. While on the phone, do not hang up until advised to do so, as more information may be needed. In all emergencies, the operations lead is the incident commander. All communication will be through the control room operator. Parachute plant evacuation. The primary gathering point is inside the gate at the employee parking lot near the guard shack. The secondary gathering point is at the control room. The third gathering point is the shipping office. Report to the nearest and/or safest muster point. Life-saving rules. The Parachute site has employed life-saving rules standards for critical or high-risk work activities. These rules pertain to working at heights, confined space, work on powered systems, line breaking, work in explosive atmosphere, lifting, excavation, and traffic. General safety rules. Do not run. Do not climb over equipment or property. Operate equipment such as forklifts, cranes, or man lifts only when trained to do so. Qualified electricians are the only persons qualified to make repairs to electrical equipment. Make sure all guards are in place prior to operating equipment, such as grinders. Horseplay is strictly prohibited. Correct unsafe conditions immediately. Follow instructions on all signs. Do not remove or defeat safety devices. And do not remove signs or barricades. Dress code. Long pants and short-sleeved shirts at a minimum are required. Tank tops or midriff shirts are prohibited. Cotton clothing is preferred to synthetic materials such as nylon, rayon, acrylic, and polyester that can melt. PPE. The following ANSI-approved PPE is mandatory in all plant areas: hard hat, safety glasses, safety shoes, safety glasses, and face shield is required for cutting or grinding. Other PPE may also be required. All safety equipment, including personal protective equipment, must be provided by the contract employer. All safety equipment must be serviceable and in working order. Hearing conservation. Use of hearing protection is mandatory in all high-noise areas and where posted. If you must raise your voice to speak to someone standing less than 3 feet from you, put in your hearing protection. Hearing protection is available in the control room and various locations in the plant. Fall protection. 100% tie-off is required on sloping roofs, on flat roofs without barricades within 6 feet of the edge or roof openings, from any suspended platform or stage greater than 6 feet above the next level, on pipe racks, on any scaffolding with incomplete handrail, from elevated man baskets or JLG baskets, and in unprotected areas above special hazards such as unfinished concrete with rebar. Required 5,000-pound anchor point per person. An average 180-pound person will generate 4,000 pounds of static load when falling. Some handrails, conduit, or piping will not hold you if you fall. Full body harness meeting OSHA standard is required. Hazard identification. Areas in the plant that are barricaded by wooden barriers, yellow caution tape, or red danger tape must be avoided. Yellow caution hazard tape represents a general warning of hazards. Know the hazards associated with the area before crossing. Red hazard tape represents imminent dangerous situations. Only employees with direct knowledge to correct hazards may cross. All hazard tape must be accompanied by a sign designating the hazards associated with it. If working above floor level, consider barricading all lower levels if hazards exist. Hazard communication. If you have questions pertaining to the hazards of the materials that are stored or generated on site, please speak to your Solvay contact. They will be happy to provide you with an SDS and review it with you to ensure that you understand all the hazards and protective measures related to that product. Safety Data Sheet, SDS. The 3E Safety Data Sheet portal can be reached from any network-linked computer, and any employee can provide a requested SDS. All chemicals must be in proper containers and have proper labeling to include contents and specific hazard description. Chemical control. All chemicals in any quantity must be approved by your Solvay project contact prior to being brought on site. Specific chemical hazards. CO2, carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is not poisonous. However, it is heavier than air and can concentrate in a low-lying area. If the concentration is high enough, you will experience hypoxia, which is not enough oxygen to your brain. The symptoms are vomiting, chills, headache, and euphoria. If you experience these symptoms and are working in a low-lying area, leave the area and contact your supervisor. H2S, hydrogen sulfide, rotten egg gas. Hydrogen sulfide may be present in our CO2 raw material. Like CO2, it is heavier than air and can concentrate in a low-lying area. It numbs the sense of smell, so you can't smell it even as the concentration rises, causing hypoxia. If you experience the symptoms and are working in a low-lying area, leave the area and contact your supervisor. NH3, ammonia. Ammonia is present in our CO2 plant. It is poisonous and explosive, but you can smell ammonia before the concentrations are dangerous. If you smell ammonia, leave the area and notify your supervisor. CH4, natural gas. Natural gas is used in many places for product dryers, boilers, and heat. Do not cut any pipe without knowing what is in the pipe and that the pipe has been purged. Contact your supervisor with any questions. Housekeeping. Keep your work area clean and orderly. Properly dispose of materials, tools, scrap, and other debris. Maintain open access to aisles, emergency equipment, truck aisles, and exits, etc. Clean up spills immediately. Notify your supervisor and the project contact of any spills. Protecting the environment. Prevent chemicals from entering waterways, including groundwater. Dispose of waste properly. Leave leaky vehicles at home. Do not feed or harass wildlife. Notify the control room of abnormal conditions, overflowing tanks, excessive dust, and leaks, etc. Fire prevention. Hot work permits are required in all areas of the plant except the maintenance fabrication area. To have an area designated as a fabrication area, speak to the project contact. Instructions are printed on the hot work permit. Hot work permits may be obtained from the control room. Fire prevention is directly tied to the life-saving rule for working in explosive atmosphere. Energy control lockout tagout. Energy control policy requires all employees to lock out, tag out any piece of equipment with hazardous energy prior to starting work. All equipment must be locked, tagged, and tried prior to beginning work as per energy control policy. Each person must place a Solvay Chemicals lock on the lockbox. Checkout locks are available from the control room. An operating technician will show you where to lock out. The lockout program helps address the hazards associated with the life-saving rule working on powered systems. Permit-required confined spaces. The following applies to confined spaces. All confined spaces are permit-required and entered by permit only. Companies contracted to work in permit-required confined spaces must comply with all OSHA standards and requirements. Solvay Chemicals must approve any work to be performed in a permit-required confined space. The confined space procedure is another of the life-saving rules. Material handling. Never get under a suspended load. Taglines are required on all loads. Lifting is one of the life-saving rules as well. Vehicle operation. Seatbelt use is mandatory on Solvay Chemicals property. Every occupant in the vehicle must be in a seat. Obey all posted traffic signs. Plant speed limit is 20 miles per hour. Drive defensively and courteously. Report any vehicle collisions to your supervisor or project contact. Cell phone use while driving is prohibited. Railroad safety. Solvay Chemicals has an active rail siding and rail yard. Please note the safety rules for working in and around the rail yard. Never walk between uncoupled cars. Never climb over coupled cars. Never enter rail cars. Do not park or put items on tracks. Contact shipping or the control room before entering the rail yard. Smoking, drug use. Use of tobacco products is prohibited inside all Solvay Chemicals buildings. Solvay Chemicals follows DOT regulations on blood alcohol content, which is 0.04. Marijuana is legal in the state of Colorado. However, for the safety of our employees and equipment, Solvay Chemicals will follow the federal government guideline which states that marijuana is a controlled substance. A third party administers a random drug testing program for the site. Firearms, weapons. Possession of fireworks, firearms, or other weapons on Solvay Chemicals property is prohibited. Accident near-hit reporting. Report all accidents or near hits to your supervisor and project contact on the same shift that they occurred. Complete Solvay Chemicals Employee First Report Form. Forms are available in the control room. Violation of safety policy. Violation of environmental safety and health policies or procedures may result in removal from the property or loss of contract. Random inspections may happen anywhere on site. Quality and food safety orientation. History of food safety. The FDA regulations led to the promulgation of the present Food Good Manufacturing Practices Regulations, or GMP. These regulations mean that food production plants must be in compliance with food GMPs, or they are considered to be unsanitary. Food safety regulation. In the United States, there are many agencies with regulations that affect food processing. Some of them include FDA, USDA, and state and local agencies. How does it apply to us? We sell sodium bicarbonate products that become added ingredients in food and consumer products, toothpaste, dishwasher soap, etc. The combined products are then sold to consumers. Solvay Chemicals Parachute has to comply with federal food safety regulations as described in 21 CFR Part 117. Solvay Chemicals Parachute chooses to follow some other standards as well. International Standards Organization, ISO, FSSC 22000 Food Safety Management Standard, and ISO 9001 Quality Management Standard. These regulations and standards define how we operate. Some are done at the corporate level. Some are done at the local parachute site level. Solvay Chemicals Quality and Food Safety Policy. Quality Policy. Solvay Chemicals Incorporated is committed to understanding and meeting our customers' requirements through the continuous improvement of our processes. We are dedicated to delivering defect-free product on time at the most competitive cost possible. Food Safety Policy. Solvay Chemicals Incorporated is committed to producing sodium bicarbonate food products that always comply with relevant legal requirements and the highest standards of food safety, manufactured under GMP conditions of hygiene and control. We will effectively use Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point, HACCP principles at all stages of sodium bicarbonate manufacturing. We will use a documented quality and food safety management system and educate staff in the control of food safety and execute a program with participation from all work groups. GMPs and prerequisite programs. We are required by the FDA to follow good manufacturing practices for human food and animal feed. Prerequisite programs for food safety include some of these GMPs. Prerequisite programs. Prerequisite programs include the following policies: allergen control, jewelry in plant, glass policy, tobacco policy, labeling of containers policy, food and drink policy, hand washing policy, clothing policy, pest control policy, and use of wasp spray and insect repellent. We all need to follow these policies to ensure that we are making a safe product. Security. Employees have the right to request identification from unaccompanied or unknown personnel within the facility. Employees should notify the department manager or on-call manager after hours of suspicious personnel or activity. Employees and authorized contractors are the only personnel allowed in the rail yard, soda ash unloading area, bicarb loadout area, or around the silos. Think safety first. Our goal is for you to return home in the same condition as when you arrived. Please help us achieve our goal.